This is your Barbados Today Morning News Update for Monday, November 22. The search for a 30-year-old American-Barbadian ended on a tragic note on Sunday. Lawmen confirmed that the body of Samara Bristol, who was reported missing last Wednesday, was found after a number of extensive searches. Her partially decomposed body was found in the area of the mangrove dump in St. Thomas. Police Public Relations Officer Acting Inspector Rodney Innes updated reporters at the scene.
She was reported missing on Wednesday, the 17th of November, today being Sunday, the 21st of November. Our investigations led us to a location here in St. Thomas, just adjacent to the mangrove dump and along a carrot road and a bushy area, where we discovered the body, human remains of a female. We, at this stage, cannot confirm the identity. We're yet to do that. But we can say that we have good reasons to believe that it might well be connected to the missing person, Samara Bristol. Our investigations led us here about 9:45 this morning, and this is following up some intensive searches that we had yesterday throughout the parish of St. Thomas, where we came up empty-handed. But our further investigation, as I said earlier, led us to this discovery today.
Lawmen are also investigating the circumstances surrounding the discovery of a body found hanging at the general merchandise store Daily Depot, located on Tudor Street, the city Bridgetown. The deceased has been identified as 45-year-old Jadesh Gulu Merchandani of 92 Avenue Valley View, St. George. 4 Barbadians succumbed to COVID-19 over the weekend. 1 woman passed away on Sunday and 3 males on Saturday. The female, who was 93 years old, died at the Harrison Point Isolation Facility. She was fully vaccinated. 2 of the males, aged 67 and 83, succumbed to the viral illness while at the geriatric hospital. They were both fully vaccinated. The other male, who was 76-year-old, died while at the Harrison Point Isolation Facility. He was unvaccinated. Their deaths bring the total number of people who have died from the virus to 211. One children's rights activist has voiced concern that some parents may be hindering their children from receiving the COVID-19 vaccine. UNICEF Children's Champion Faith Marshall Harris says it is important for children to get the vaccine so they can resume regular activities. She made the comments while speaking to the media at the National Botanical Gardens on the weekend to commemorate World Children's Day.
The biggest concern I have for them, really, is the fact that their childhood has been stalled by COVID-19. I think that's the biggest problem in terms of not just education, basically, but their ability to interact with their peers and really to have a complete and fulfilling childhood has been stymied by all that we've had to do in terms of COVID-19. So my biggest concern for them is that we must get the country safe enough for them to be able to go into school, be in the playground, meet with each other. And we can only make it safe for all of us by getting vaccinated. And that is my big message, because that's the only way that they can have a life.
In other news this Monday, the Democratic Labour Party candidate for St. James Central, Paul Gibson, is calling on the government to come to the aid of residents in Bagatelle. Touring the area on the weekend, Gibson said residents are fed up with the horrible conditions of the roads in the area, which only receive periodical patchwork.
Issues regarding the road. Now, if you look at the road, you realize that they're trying to pave all over Barbados, but for years, over 7 to 8 years, they have never touched this community. They're patching it, but the road is horrid. You have good, upstanding taxpayers working in the Bagatelle Terrace area, and I'm actually calling for the authorities to immediately give attention to the roads in Barbados Terrace. And we the Democratic Party are very concerned about this, because this is now a major thoroughfare, and it is one of the big areas that we want the government to focus on. Repair the roads in Bagatelle immediately. This is one thing. The second thing is, as we move from house to house, one of the things we hear, the other thing we're hearing is the whole concern about the high gas rates. and the pressure that it is putting on the food bill, on the water bill, is putting on the, it's just affecting everything. All the costs of clothing, business operations is all being jacked up. And so we are asking for an immediate reduction of the petrol by between 20 to 25 cents so that Barbadians can get some ease.
Tributes are continuing to flow following the passing of construction magnate Sir Charles Williams on Friday. Chairman of the Barbados Private Sector Association, Tricia Tannis, remembered Sir Charles as an outstanding entrepreneur.
Sir Charles was beyond a shadow of doubt an outstanding entrepreneur in his time and season. That he was a gifted businessman par excellence is evidenced by his contribution to the development of Barbados and the region. It is noteworthy that while he conceptualized and developed various projects and ventures for the sustainability and growth of his business empire, his employees, other businesses, and the nation as a whole also benefited. Projects with which he has been affiliated, such as the Port St. Charles and Apes Hill Golf and Polo development, have greatly contributed to Barbados' tourism product and our world-renowned reputation in the international market. It would really be hard to argue against the fact that his love for Barbados was a motivating factor, as was his drive and energy to move the earth to please. This love for country has caused him to speak up and speak out when others would be cowed. While he epitomized business success, he also showed it was not all about work, and he found time to play.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Hi, my name is Christian Paul. I'm the country manager of BCIC here in Barbados. When the COVID vaccine first came out, I thought it was an interesting and a potentially successful way for us to navigate our way out of the pandemic and a return to some state of normalcy. I took the vaccine because I have a young family. I want to make sure that they are safe and protected. I have friends, extended family, and obviously I work here with colleagues, so I thought it was a good way to help protect them and to keep them safe, as well as myself. I would encourage others to take the vaccine because I know that you can still transmit the disease even if you're vaccinated, but the chances of being severely ill or worse, dying, are significantly reduced.
Let's roll up our sleeves and get back to living.
To regional happenings, Trinidad and Tobago has recorded 28 new COVID-19 deaths, the highest daily record since the start of the pandemic. These latest fatalities include 13 elderly males, 8 elderly females, 5 middle-aged males, 1 middle-aged female, and a child. We get the details from TTT News.
The Ministry of Health is also reporting an additional 592 new COVID-19 cases. Active cases now stand at 8,491. 510 remain at hospital and are being treated for the virus, while 67 have been discharged from public health facilities. Some institutions are not reporting positive cases to the Office of the Chief Medical Officer. CMO Dr. Roshan Parasram said the public health ordinance requires that medical practitioners and labs need to report positive cases to the Office of the CMO.
Under Regulation 13, and just to quote a sentence, a paragraph from Regulation 13, provides that where a private medical lab or a medical practitioner does such testing on a person or a medical practitioner refers a person for such testing, the result of such a positive result should be referred to the Office of the Chief Medical Officer and the Regional Health Authority.
On the international front, 3 people were treated in a hospital in the Dutch city of Rotterdam after they were seriously injured when police fired shots during a violent protest against COVID-19 measures. We get more in this report from Reuters TV.
Broken windows and charred debris. These were just some of the scenes from the aftermath of violent protests which rocked the Dutch city of Rotterdam over the weekend. 3 people were being treated for serious injuries in a hospital after protests against COVID-19 measures saw rioters torching cars, setting off fireworks, and throwing rocks at police. Authorities responded with water cannons and warning shots. More than 50 people were arrested, half of whom were under the age of 18, according to the Rotterdam Police Department's Twitter on Saturday. Protesters opposed a new law that limits access to indoor public venues to those with a corona pass, proving they've either been vaccinated or have recovered from an infection. On Saturday, hundreds of protesters gathered in the capital Amsterdam at the Museumplein. a tourism hotspot where they were closely watched by the police.
That's news, but for the very latest, you can visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media and bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Capital Media HD, 99.3 FM.